They finally arrived. Ow. I've actually ordered that many books, but we'll keep that between you and me. This video is going to be a simple compilation of some Christmas festive reads. All of these books have been recommended to me. Some I've read, some are on my December TBR. Most of it is romance, but there's some fantasy in there. There's some thrillers slash mystery, and I've got a whole mixture. So I've got adult, I've got YA, I've got middle grade slash junior fiction. Oh, that sticker better come off. This is a special edition of Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. So it is a novella, a Christmas themed novella, part of the Caraval universe. I absolutely loved the Caraval series, and oh, this is so gorgeous. It's got that velvety feel to the sleeve, and then, oh, get me the side. A holiday that isn't what it seems, a gift worth searching for, a night to remember. Oh, it's reminded me all about lovely characters from the Caraval series. I won't go into it too much because I don't want to spoil it for you. What I will say is, look at that. You see that? Oh, I love it even more. This book has got to live up to my expectations because, oh, it's just so beautiful. Oh, that's just cozy, whimsy, all in one. So that is the book itself. The series itself it's a YA fantasy. We follow two sisters, Scarlett and Donatella, and Caraval it's a magical carnival that comes around every year, and if you're invited to take part in the games and you win, then you are granted your heart's desire, your wish, by the master of Caraval itself. So yes, it's a trilogy that follows the two sisters. That's all I'll say. It's a great read. I'll read a bit of it because, again, I don't want to give away what happens in the previous books. Snowflakes are falling, invitations are arriving, and holiday magic is swirling in the capital city of the Meridian Empire. Welcome back to the world of Caraval, where even holidays are not as they seem. So that's definitely book one on my TBR for December. I also have on my December's TBR, because it's part of my book club book that we chose, and that is Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. It's part of the Dream Harbour series. So her first book was The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, which I really enjoyed. The second one was The Cinnamon Bun Bookstore, which again I enjoyed. I didn't have as good a time as I did with The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I think it was more to do with the trope. And this is book 3, The Christmas Tree Farm. I just look at this cover. This is just so festive, fuzzy feels, everything you can think of. I think if I read the blurb to you, I don't think it'll give away anything from the previous books. Kira North hates Christmas, which is unfortunate since she just bought a Christmas tree farm in a town that's too cute for its own good. Bennett Ellis is on vacation in Dream Harbour, trying to take a break from both his life and his constant desire to always fix things. But somehow fate finds Ben trapped in a blanket of snow at Kira's farm, and despite her grinchiest first impressions, with the glow of the fairy lights twinkling in the trees and the promise of a warming hot chocolate, maybe, just maybe, these two lost souls will have a Christmas they'll remember forever. I really enjoy the Dream Harbour series. It's just classic rom-com with cozy vibes, so I'm really looking forward to this one as well. I've got 2 books by Sarah Morgan. I've got the Christmas Book Club. I read Snowed In for Christmas and I adored that book. It had me chuckling, it has the festive vibes, and I really liked her writing. In Snowed In for Christmas, we find Lucy, who finds herself in the home of the Millers. She has to go there to drop off a business proposal. However, she gets confused for being Ross Miller's, the Miller son's, girlfriend. But by the time the confusion is unraveled, she can't go home because she's snowed in, so she has to spend Christmas time with Millers. It's just a funny, sweet, festive rom-com. I would just say to check their content warnings because there are a few topics that are discussed that could be triggering for some. Because I had such a fun time with that, I picked up this one over here. So this is the Christmas Book Club. Could this Christmas be the start of a new chapter? Every year, Erica, Claudia and Anna reunite for their book club holiday. They're bonded by years of friendship and a deep love of books, but there is still so much they keep from each other. At the cozy Maple Sugar Inn, Hattie specializes in making her guests' dreams come true. But this Christmas, all she wants is to survive the festive season. Between running the inn and being a single mother, Hattie is close to breaking point. Over the course of an eventful week, Hattie sees that the friends are each carrying around unspoken truths, but nothing prepares her for how deeply her story will become entwined with theirs. Will this Christmas be the end of the book club story or the start of a whole new chapter? So that's the Christmas Book Club by Sarah Morgan. Next up is the Secret Christmas Bookshop. I believe Sophie receives a surprise package in the form of a book, and there's a bit of a mystery element because we join Sophie in a hunt to find out who's sent this package to her. Along the way she meets Harry, who I believe is like this rich guy who seems a bit aloof, but there's a lot of gossip surrounding him since he's returned to London. Their paths cross in her attempt to find who's sent the mystery book to her, and it just sounds like a bit of fun. In keeping with the Christmas Bookshop theme, I also picked up Midnight at the Christmas Bookshop by Jenny Colgan. Oh. Okay, so she's also got the Christmas Bookshop. And I wonder if I need to read that. I don't know if they're a series, if it's a standalone. Let's see. Wrap up warm and watch the snowflakes fall. The Christmas Bookshop welcomes you home. Carmen is at a loose end. Her gorgeous bookshop is the filming site of a cheesy Christmas movie. She's been ousted from her sister's house and the love of her life has just flown thousands of miles away. It's turning out to be a very unjolly Christmas indeed. You know what, before I read any more, I want to see if I need to read the Christmas Bookshop first. It seems it is a series, and this is book number 2. It does not say whether I need to read book number 1, but I know book number 1 also has, was it Carmen that I said? Yeah, also has Carmen, and I don't want to read book number 2 without having read the first book, so I've picked this up. If I can find the Christmas Bookshop, then I will read that first and then this one. Next I picked up Escape for Christmas by Philippa Ashley. I have read one of her other Christmas books. I can't remember which one. I'll come back to that one though. Sophie used to adore everything about Christmas, hot chocolate and velvet bows, fairy lights and mince pies. Until the December her fiancé jilted her. Since then, Sophie has opened Sunnyside Hotel, a quaint guest house nestled deep in the Cumbrian countryside. And though it might be winter at Sunnyside, it's never Christmas. Marketing her hotel to those who wish to avoid the festivities, Sophie is busy preparing a season full of joy and laughter, but without the tinsel and mistletoe. Yet as she finds herself growing closer to her gorgeous neighbour Brody, her heart begins to melt. Will this Christmas bring the touch of magic Sophie needs to give her love? Will this Christmas bring the touch of magic Sophie needs to give love another chance? If I'm completely honest, it's not the kind of book that entices me, but it is different to the other ones that I've just been through. So this, I am going to say, is on my maybe pile. The other book that I've read by Philippa Ashley was The Christmas Holiday. If I'm completely honest with you, I didn't enjoy it so much, so maybe that's kind of blurring in the back of my mind. But The Christmas Holiday is about Crystal, who hasn't had the best of upbringings, and she's always longed for a warm family Christmas. There's this one place that she visited at Christmas time when she was a lot younger. She returns to it as an adult to spend what she believes is her perfect Christmas over there. She travels there with her boyfriend, but she ends up meeting a very grumpy Scrooge-like guy and wants to see if she can try and change his opinion towards Christmas and the festive season. If you're looking for a book that's based around Christmas time, but not so much the festive feels and the tinsel and the lights and all that fuzzy stuff, then I really enjoyed The Christmas Postcards by Karen Swan. Natasha's young daughter has left her little soft cuddly toy, I think it's a penguin, I can't remember, but she's left it behind at their holiday home, and Natasha doesn't realise until they're out of the country and it's too late to go back and get it. However, her daughter is just not herself without it. She refuses to sleep, eat, she won't settle without the toy. So Natasha puts a picture out of it on social media to see if they can track it down. It just so happens that the cuddly toy is picked up by Duffy, who thinks the toy itself resembles his sister's childhood toy, and so Duffy takes it with him on his journey to Nepal. When Duffy eventually realizes what's happened, he's too far out to post the toy back, so he's agreed to keep in touch with Natasha by sending postcards on updates about the toy. And it's just one of those feel-good books that you can cozy up to. It's not a typical Christmas festive setting, but it still is an enjoyable read. Next I've got A Merry Little Meet Cute, which, if I'm completely honest, I'm not too sure what it's about. I've just seen it being recommended quite a bit, so let's see. When B. Hobbs takes the lead in a squeaky clean romantic Christmas movie, there are only 3 rules. 1. Don't get involved with anyone on set. 2. Don't tell anyone what you do for a living. 3. Definitely don't get involved with anyone on set. 3B. Seriously. Now she's filming in Christmas Notch, a small town with Christmas trees and festive tunes all year round. But Bee's got a secret identity to hide, and it's not family friendly. And her co-star, Nolan Shaw, an ex-boy band member infamous for his own X-rated antics, not only knows it, but is secretly her biggest fan. When things start to heat up on set, Bee and Nolan must keep their steamy affair under wraps or risk ruining everything. I don't know. I feel like this book is going to be, I don't want to say smutty, but that's what I feel like it's going to be. I don't mind spicing books as long as it's there for a reason and it's to add to the story, it's part of the story, and it's not just put in there for the sake of just having a bit of spice in there. This one seems like it's all about the spice. I might have to go through a few reviews to see if it is something that is worth reading for me personally. But it could just sound like something that's to your liking. Next up is Merrily Ever After by Kathy Bramley, and I think this is going to be quite an emotional read. 2 strangers, 1 family secret, and a Christmas to remember. So I believe we have 2 main characters in here. We have Mary, who has always wanted a family to spend Christmas with, and her wish finally comes true. She marries single dad of 2, and as she gains this family, she also gains a lot more responsibility on top of the things that are already overwhelming her. And we also have Emily, who I believe she's just looking forward to the new year for a fresh start. Her father has recently been put into a home, and when she starts sorting through his belongings, she comes across a photograph which could potentially change her life forever. I will say I most definitely need to be in a particular type of mood to read this book. Festive mood itself is not the mood. However, I may want a break away from reading lots of happy, cheery books, in which case I think this could be a very good read. Another book that seems quite emotional is The Christmas Love Letters. I'm just going to read the back of the book because when I do, you'll understand what I mean by emotional. Welcome to Nelson's Bar, a snow-dusted seaside village where time seems to stand still. Maddie Crazy has called this beautiful spot home all her life, as had her husband A.D., until an epic row sent him storming out into a blizzard with no sign of him since that fateful night. 6 years on, and Maddie's life in the village has settled into a gentle pattern with her young daughter and great-aunt Ruthie. However, when handsome stranger Raph turns up with a handful of long-forgotten love letters, their quiet life is appended as family secrets from their past are unearthed. As Raph and Maddie get to know each other, they grow closer and a love story of their own seems inevitable. But when Maddie receives a mysterious message, she can't help but wonder whether her own past is as distant as she thought. Do you see what I mean by emotional? So this is going in the same pile of I may or may not feel like it. I've got 2 Christmas mysteries for you. The first one is The Christmas Guest. Ashley is an American art student who is living in London. She is invited to her friend's family manor house in the Cotswolds, and she's looking forward to a traditional English Christmas. But once she arrives there, then there are secrets that begin to unfold, and that's all I'll say. The mystery itself wasn't so surprising for me, but I did think that the book was well written. I do think it's worth picking up just for a quick short read. A bit of a palate cleanser if, like me, you're planning to read a lot of rom-coms. And the second mystery I've got is Mistletoe and Mystery. I'm a huge foodie. It's Christmas, it's food, it's mystery. Welcome to the Cotswolds premier cookery school, where romance, secrets and Christmas wishes are on the menu. Fresh off the successful opening of the Paradise Cookery School in St. Lucia, Millie Harper is headed to the Cotswolds for Christmas. Co-presenting the Festive Feels cookery course at Stoneleigh Manor is a dream come true for Millie, as is reuniting with gorgeous estate manager Zach Barker. but upon arriving, Millie learns the manor is under threat. It'll take a holiday miracle, but Millie is determined to save the school, get Zack under the mistletoe, and finally finish what they started in the Caribbean. You know what I'm going to say, aren't you? Is this a follow-on from another book? Why do I keep doing this? I don't understand. Let me investigate. Yes, it is. It is actually book number 3 in the Paradise Cookery School series. It's not a long book, so could I possibly read books number 1 and 2 before that? I don't know if I want to. Book number 1 is Sunshine and Secrets. Do I really want to read about a summer romance, I'm guessing? Which we know is in the Caribbean now. And book number 2, Confetti and Confusion. I don't know. This may have to wait until next year. Next Christmas. And before then I'll get through book 1 and book 2. If I remember, I probably won't. If you've read it, let me know. Is it one that I can read, or would I prefer to read the first 2 books? Obviously, we know they've got history. I feel like I'd be doing myself a disservice by not reading the first 2. We'll see. I mean, saying that, I've got so many on my list already. They're not even all here. These are just the ones that I've got physically. I've got a whole load on here that I want to read as well. One here as an ebook. So yeah, I might skip that one for this year. Moving on, I said I've got some YA. I think I've only just got 2. The first one is Spectacular, which I've already told you about. The other is Midnight in Everwood. This book is based during Edwardian times, in which we follow Marietta, who loves ballet more than anything and just wants to dance on stage. However, her family are eager to get her married, and in comes a proposal from a mysterious new neighbor who happens to have somewhat of an enchantment about him. Marietta, who doesn't want to get married, she just wants to dance, refuses his proposal, and as such he somewhat places a curse upon her. That's all I'll say, but it's a book that's sweet, elegant, enchanting, and it also has the Festive Feels as well. And finally, I've got a collection of junior fiction / middle grade books. I adore these kind of books. Yes, I do have 2 young children, one who loves reading and one who loves being read to. However, these books I usually tend to pick up for myself. I think it's so important to keep the child within us alive, and these books definitely help to do that. First book that I recommend, I read last year. I absolutely loved it. It is A Boy Called Christmas, and it has been turned into a movie as well. I watched the movie. The movie was sweet, but it had nothing on the book. Honestly, Matt Haig is just... he's a wonderful genius. The way he writes his characters, the story setting, the story itself, the plot, it was a roller coaster of a read. I absolutely loved it, and it's part of a series as well. So this is book number 1, A Boy Called Christmas. It's followed by The Girl Who Saved Christmas, and then we've got Father Christmas and Me. I think that's the 3 main, so I don't have the other one. I think that's the 3 main books, and then there's is it a prequel? Or no, it's not a prequel. There's a novella in between some of the books, A Mouse Called Mika, and then there are 2 really, really short stories which are based around the Truth Pixie. Is it 2 or 3? I can't remember now. Anyway, the whole series is just so sweet and heartwarming, and you will not be disappointed if you read these. I also picked up The Christmas Carols. This is again another series, and it's about a family who are basically festive all year round. In this book itself, the Carols move home, and so it's a big change for Holly. Holly, who is she's been homeschooled her whole life, so now she's joining new school. She is all about Christmas and festive cheer the whole year round, which not everyone understands. It's very funny. It's a book I enjoyed. It's definitely one that I think younger readers would really, really enjoy reading. It touches on some emotional subjects, which is really great. Oh, I forget to say this at the beginning of all my bookish videos, but do check the content warnings. In this one, we do deal with death. This one actually covers some topics that I think are great talking points with young children, and it's a good way to introduce certain subjects in terms of adoption and fostering and things like that. I enjoyed this book, and I'd read the rest of the series. I'd definitely pick it up. The rest of the books I haven't read, but we'll go through them together. I've got Juniper's Christmas. It all started in Christmas past. It's been 10 years since Santa Claus performed his Christmas duties, but when Juniper Lane discovers the mysterious Nico, who lives in her local London park surrounded by Christmas trees and reindeer that can fly, she steps into a Christmas story like no other. When Juniper's mum goes missing and the park comes under threat from an ambitious park keeper, Juniper enlists Nico, who is surely Santa Claus, to help. As the countdown to Christmas begins, Juniper must find her mother, restore the festive spirit, bring to life the true magic of the season, and learn to ride her very own reindeer. In keeping with reindeer, next I have The Great Reindeer Rescue. I was rather hoping you'd help me save Christmas. Save Christmas, said Holly. Yes, said Dave. There won't be a Christmas if we don't find Santa and the other reindeer. It is the night before Christmas and Dave, the newest reindeer recruit to Santa's sleigh team, is desperate to do a good job. But while dodging a fart in the face from Rudolph, that's junior fiction for you! While dodging a fart in the face from Rudolph, Dave forces the sleigh to make an emergency landing on the roof of Holly's house, and a massive explosion of fairy lights later, the reindeer, Santa and Holly's dad are all blasted to far-flung corners of the world. Disaster. How will all the children on Earth receive their presents now? If you are looking for Christmas laughter, there we go. And then moving on from the reindeer, but keeping with the animal theme, I picked up The Christmas Pig. I picked this book up last year, but I did not get around to reading it. And we all know how fabulous the writer J.K. Rowling is. Jack loves his childhood toy Der Pig. DP has always been there for him through good and bad, until one Christmas Eve something terrible happens. DP is lost. But Christmas Eve is the night for miracles and lost causes, a night when all things can come to life, even toys. So Jack and the Christmas Pig, DP's annoying replacement, embark on a breathtaking journey through the magical land of the lost. With the help of a talking lunchbox, a brave compass, and a winged thing called Hope, they set out to rescue the best friend Jack has ever known from the terrifying toy-crunching loser. Obviously I have high expectations. I also picked up The Night I Met Father Christmas. It's by Ben Miller, who my daughter absolutely loves his books. I am yet to read them. The premise of the books that she has read sounds so fun. So when I saw this one, I had to pick it up for her. This might not be the story you're expecting, but as Father Christmas told me himself, no good story ever is. Jackson knows all about the flying reindeer. He knows about the elves and the secret North Pole workshop. He knows about the magic that allows Father Christmas to deliver presents around the world in just one night, but there's one thing he doesn't know. How did Father Christmas become Father Christmas? That all changes when one Christmas Eve, Jackson meets Father Christmas and hears his incredible story. So begins an enchanting fairy tale into a magical snowy landscape where Torville, mean-spirited and miserly elf, is about to discover the true meaning of Christmas. This might not have been the story Jackson was expecting, but as Father Christmas tells him, no good story ever is. I have a feeling this one's going to be quite magical. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And then I picked up this book itself. It's called Tinsel, The Girl Who Invented Christmas, which sounds so very different to anything I've picked up before. What if somewhere along the way we've all got the Santa story a bit wrong? Join Blanche Claus and her best friend Rinky for a funny festive sleigh ride you'll never forget. And even the cover is so fun. And last but not least, I picked up How Winston Delivered Christmas. This book, so it's a Christmas story in 24 and a half chapters. So I think it's like an advent calendar, but in story form. Let's see. On Christmas Eve, Winston finds a letter to Father Christmas that didn't make it to the North Pole. Being a kindly sort, he decides to set off on a very important mission to deliver it himself in time for Christmas Day. It is a long journey, especially when you are a tiny mouse, and he soon finds himself swept up in a snowy adventure, one that's full of excitement and danger. Can Winston and his new friends complete his mission on time? Okay, yeah, and see, it also tells you how to read the book. Not read this just yet, but here you can see It's almost like an advent calendar, so a story for each day, I believe. Those are all the festive reads I have on my list so far. If you've enjoyed this video, I'd love for you to give it a thumbs up and do subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you so much for watching, sending warm fuzzy season's greetings to you, and have a lovely, lovely, lovely day. I'll see you soon. Bye.